evening. Thanks for joining us here at 11. I'm Ashley Kirk.
Good evening to you. I'm Cherie Blow. Boy, what started as such an exciting, fun day has ended in tears and many, many prayers. This all happened just in the first few minutes of the game. Bills safety Damar Hamlin made a really hard tackle there in the first quarter. He got up and then all of a sudden collapsed, and emergency workers were then performing CPR on the field for several minutes before he could then even be loaded onto an ambulance and taken away from Paycor Stadium. We have team coverage for you downtown tonight at the stadium and at UC Medical Center, where Hamlin was taken. And as you said, Ashley is in critical condition, as last reported. We begin with sports reporter Olivia Ray with the very latest there from the stadium. Olivia, talk to us about where you are. Have you been able to talk to any players and just sort of set the stage for us?
Yes, I do want to set the scene here right now. I'm actually on the south side of Paycor Stadium. We are underneath the stadium in the tunnel. I'm not sure if you can see the sign right behind me. We are just outside the visiting team locker room and interview room, where about 60 members of the media have been actually corralled in this tunnel for now over several hours. I also spent some time in the Bills media room meeting with their support staff as well. So I do want to make note that I have spoken to a couple of Bills players. It's my understanding that they are still here in the building, and they still do not know whether or not they are traveling back home tonight, or if they are staying put here in Cincinnati. So that is the latest on that, and I did want to get the latest update on Damar Hamlin's status. This is a statement coming from his marketing rep. It read, "His vitals are back to normal, and they have put him to sleep to put a breathing tube down his throat. They're currently running more tests." Now, I have confirmed with some Buffalo media that this is Jordan Rooney. It's a friend of his and his agent, apparently. So Damar Hamlin's agent releasing the most recent statement on his status. He is in critical condition, as the NFL has released. And just moments ago, I actually watched Josh Allen. He was escorted by several security guards. He made his way down to the Bengals locker room, which is also just behind me. I'm assuming to meet with several of the players. I have also seen several of the Bengals players loading onto the buses outside of here as they are starting to leave the stadium. Again, it's my understanding the Bills are still here because the details surrounding if this game will ever continue, if it will continue to be played at a later date, those are still all up in the air. This is an unprecedented situation, and I do want to obviously get to updates from the medical center right now.
Now, Olivia, as you said, football is now to the backseat for everyone here. It started out with so much excitement. And as you were there inside the game, and we know a little bit about Damar at this point, tell us a little bit about his playing history. And this is his second year in the league.
Yes, Damar Hamlin is just a 24-year-old NFL star. He's obviously in peak physical condition if he's playing in the NFL. And he went to Pitt, and which is why I was also going to note some tweets that have rolled out from Bengals players like Tyler Boyd, who is also a Pittsburgh graduate. He said, "Love you 3, prayers up for Hamlin." A lot of them are tweeting that sentiment out. We also saw Jamar Chase leave the stadium. He met with his mother just outside the Bengals locker room. He was visibly distressed, in tears, and he was actually, I believe, the first Bengals player to release a tweet offering prayers and his thoughts with Damar's family and hoping for better news as this night rolls on.
Boy, we all hope and pray. Olivia Ray live at the stadium. Of course, we'll check back, Olivia. If you get any new information, of course, we'll get right back out to you. You know, Olivia was talking about how he's 24 years old, and we were looking on, of course, social media and videos coming out from before the game where it looked like it was Hamlin's mom who was down there on the field, and he, goes running up to her, just so happy, giving her a hug, and you see that, and it just gives you chills to see. We always talk about how quickly things can change. Football's can be a very violent sport. We've seen so many injuries, head injuries, neck injuries, but something like this, and when I was hearing so many of the former players and analysts saying they've never seen anything like this, they had never seen an ambulance be on the field or CPR performed this long, it really is chilling, and you just pray that this can be a good outcome.
Not only for him, but you pray for his family, his mom in the stadium tonight. And we're hearing she was with him on the way to the hospital. And as we said, Hamlin, just 24 years old, just entered the league last year.
WLWT News Science Deterrent McGee is live for us at UC Medical Center with more on what you've learned. And Jatera, I know we've been trying to find out if there's going to be any sort of news conference. So far, nothing like that's happened, right?
Yeah, Sheree, nothing like that yet. I can tell you that Damar Hamlin was brought here around 9:30. An ambulance brought him here to UC Medical Center, which is Cincinnati's Level 1 trauma center. It was escorted by a police escort, which of course is only used in the most serious situations. Just a couple of seconds before you tossed to me, we saw someone who looked a lot like Stephon Diggs just show up here. I've seen him in person, went to school with him, so I'm pretty sure that was him that just showed up to try to see his teammate. We've also seen fans coming out trying to get some idea of what's going on here. The NFL releasing in a statement tonight that Damar is in critical condition. His marketing rep saying that his vitals are stable and that he has been intubated and they are running tests. We're talking about a 24-year-old here, guys. He is a safety for the Buffalo Bills. He was a star standout at Pitt. And, of course, he's a son and he has a lot of teammates. I want to tell you that he received medical attention on the field right after that tackle. He made the tackle, got up, and a few seconds later collapsed to the ground. The ambulance actually going onto the field to get to him. The announcer saying that they gave CPR, the medical personnel giving CPR for about 10 minutes prior to him eventually leaving Paycor Stadium and heading here to UC Medical Center. Of course, the game has been postponed, but I can tell you the players on both sides of the ball tonight are not thinking about this game. You could see that they were visibly shaken by what was going on. Josh Allen was in tears. Joe Burrow looked shaken up. He was talking to Josh Allen as well, and a lot of the players shaken up. You know, Olivia mentioned that Tyler Boyd was one of the first people to tweet from the Bengals about Damar. They played together at Pitt. That's a very tight-knit team. Both of them were from Pittsburgh, so I'm sure he's going through it. A lot of the times, Tyler Boyd's family will come to the games in Cincinnati since the two cities are so close, so I'm sure that his family is here and surrounding him. I also wanted to let you know that we heard, as I mentioned, from a few fans that showed up here at UC Medical Center. They were Cincinnati fans that we spoke with, and I asked a woman, you know, why did you feel like it was important to come out here? And she said, this is bigger than football. This goes beyond football. Cincinnati is with Buffalo tonight, and we want people to know that we are pulling and praying for Damar that he makes a full recovery. She was in tears. She was holding her arm around her niece who was in tears, and they didn't know this player. They were fans for the other team, but this is everyone who was watching that broadcast was absolutely shocked. Again, we are waiting for any updates here from Paycor or from the University of Cincinnati Medical Center, of course, and unfortunately, this is not the first time UC Med has dealt with an injury from an NFL game. In fact, it was week 4 that Tua was brought here after that really scary hit. And several years ago, people remember that Ryan Shazier with the Steelers was brought here after a really serious injury as well. So this is the best team in town, Level 1 Trauma Center, and certainly Damar Hamlin is in good hands. Reporting live at UC Medical Center, Jatera McGee, WLWT News 5.
Jatera was out there the night that Tua was brought in. That was a different situation where he was able to walk out of the hospital that night. We certainly hope the same thing happens for Hamlin. Jatera, I know you're keeping your distance, of course, out of respect. Can you talk to us at all? I know you said you thought that you saw Diggs going in there. Have you seen any family? We were hearing that his mother was with him tonight. Have we seen any family or friends going in there?
We haven't seen any family going in, Cherie, but again, from our vantage point, we can see a heavy police presence, but there's some construction going on at the hospital, and it makes it difficult to see who's going into the emergency room entrance. I did mention, though, just a couple of seconds before we started talking to you here, we did see one of Damar's teammates, Stephon Diggs, one of the stars on the team, veterans, team leader, show up here at the hospital, likely trying to get some information about what's going on. But I know a lot of people are just going to be in a holding pattern tonight because, as we know with these serious situations, especially when the ICU is involved, there's very limited space, very limited access only to family, of course.
Jatera McGee reporting live for us. At the very last report we've gotten, he is in critical but stable condition. Of course, we'll continue to update you with any new information. We said from Paycor Stadium, but also from the hospital there with Jatera McGee. Now, before the official suspension was even announced tonight, Bengals and Bills fans alike began leaving Paycor Stadium. Obviously, very quiet. It was just a somber, serious departure.
Yeah, our sports photographer Mark Slaughter said 65,000 fans in the stands. You could hear the ambulance leaving for miles there. And WLWT News 5's Danielle Dunya spoke with fans who witnessed this tragedy. Danielle, what did people have to say tonight? I'm sure they're just stunned.
Actually, Cherie, as you both just mentioned, for the last hour or so, fans have been leaving Paycor Stadium. Everybody is shocked. Many are visibly upset. Some were even in tears at what they witnessed. As you guys both mentioned, this is bigger than the game. I'm going to step out of the way so you can get an idea of what Paycor Stadium looks like right now. But fans left Paycor full of emotion and lots of questions and concerns. I have been at the stadium since around 5 o'clock, and I can tell you this game went from the highest of highs. The atmosphere was electric. This was the game of the season, the hottest ticket, and it seemed like tonight would set a new attendance record. But that all changed. The crowd of nearly 70,000 people went quiet. All the air was taken out of the stadium. Now, we were about a mile away from the stadium on the other side of Longworth Hall, and we did also hear when the ambulance left, we saw multiple lights take that ambulance and direct that ambulance to the hospital. Now, this, like you guys both said, is very unprecedented. People inside tell me it was awful to see in person. Now, we spoke with multiple fans tonight. The common theme is sending their thoughts and prayers to Hamlin. Take a listen.
It all stops when somebody gets hurt like that, and then the extent to assist the player, and then to have all the teammates from his bench and the Bengals bench come out and kneel around him to pray for him. And we just hope and pray to God that he's able to recover and be okay. That's what all the Bengal fans and everybody who's at the game really want.
I've never seen anything like it, and I've never heard a stadium so silent. Everyone, Bills fans, Cincinnati fans, came together at that moment, and our hearts go out to all the players, not just the Bills players, but Cincinnati also. It's a tough thing to go through.
Just a very difficult situation all around, and I asked fans, did they agree with this postponement? What was the mood inside the stadium with that? And of course, they all said this was the best move, the canceling of it. They said it would have been so difficult to cheer after what they witnessed. Now, of course, we don't know what's next, if this game will go on, and of course, we'll continue to keep you updated of what we see and hear down here at Paycor Stadium. But for now, reporting live, Danielle Dunya, WLWT News 5.
Danielle, thanks so much. Fans on both sides just really stunned by this. You saw Bills fans crying. You saw Cincinnati fans just praying and really just stunned. And we'll have more with Jatira McGee, who was live at the hospital at UC Medical Center where they took Damar Hamlin after that injury. We'll have more on that after the break.
In the meantime, let's get a quick check of your weather for you. Rain falling across greater Cincinnati. Some of you could even see a little bit of lightning tonight. Hi, Allison.
Hey, Cherie and Ashley. So right now we are tracking a little bit of light rainfall moving into our southwestern communities closer to Gallatin.